Today is Donald Trump's last day as president, and hasn't time just flown by? Truly, the shortest 10 years of our lives. And as some people mourn his defeat and others celebrate it, I'm just here to try and make you laugh about it. So welcome to today's edition of Send News, the news with jokes. For the last 4 years, we've had a reality TV star as our president, and you know what? That's not as funny as you thought it might be. What some had hoped would just be harmless shenanigans, or maybe even a Bret Michaels sighting, watched with horror as this truly polarizing figure did the worst thing he could have: made people politically active. And I'm not talking about voting or even being outspoken about the candidate that you support. That's all good and fine. What I'm talking about is the daily Facebook manifestos. It's just been like 4 years of being caught in the most toxic group chat. And we can't blame anyone for it because everyone spoke up because they felt like they had to, because this was truly behavior we had never seen out of a president. Like, I used to think that I spent too much time on Twitter, but it ends up I'm just presidential. Now, for a lot of liberals, this feels like a win, but not like a direct win. More like when you're cheering against your rival. This is like being a Red Sox fan cheering against the Yankees. Like, sure, you aren't super excited about seeing the Royals win, but at least the Yankees didn't. And regardless of the team you cheer for or the outcome of the game, we're all just sitting here pins and needles hoping nobody sets anything on fire. It's almost surreal to think that Trump's presidency is over because he has been such a part of our psyche in our conversation. It's like if your mom was dating a party clown. You're like, listen, I never really liked the guy, but we kind of have to talk about it. And you know, as I sit here and think about Trump moving out, he seems like the type of renter that isn't going to get his security deposit back. Yeah, part of me thinks that instead of leaving a nice presidential note, he's just going to leave a couple wild bald eagles in the Oval Office. And of course, it's Joe Biden at the ripe age of 78 years old moving in, proving that truly Americans only want a president who is in tier 1 to get the COVID vaccine. I remember 12 years ago when Barack selected him as his VP and thinking, man, that guy is old. Maybe for the next one, we can have a president that listens to records because they're ironically cool, not because that's what he grew up on. But as Trump removes his KFC buckets and Biden replaces them with old jars of Werther's Originals, we retire this truly bizarre time in American history, where you would go home for the holidays and listen to one aunt call him the Messiah and the other call him the Antichrist. And personally, I always viewed him somewhere in between, more of a Noah type, but only if Noah refused to build the ark unless Mexico paid for it. And to Trump's credit, he is going out with a bang. And by a bang, I mean a gang of presidential pardons. A list that, if it gets any crazier, is gonna have Sideshow Bob, Joe Exotic, and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Azkaban? Not sure if I said that right. I'm more of a comic book guy. But jokes aside, you can't tell me this guy isn't gonna pardon this guy. Personally, as we move forward, I am optimistically hoping that we can focus more on the things that unite us than those that divide us. That is a sincere and deep-rooted conviction and commitment to equality, truth, and compassion. And a president who is on Twitter less, but only because he can't remember his password.